Episode 3 of Behind the G coming at you. I'm Katie B, alongside my co-host, Gainesville Athletic Director, Adam Lindsey. What a week we had in Gainesville Athletics. Talk briefly about that coming up. Guests for this show, cross-country coach, track and field coach, Rich Corbett going to join us, and we will have our weekly, or as Adam has called it, our weekly vibe check with Josh Niblett. Beautiful teaser, my guy.
Yeah, it's got a great show this week, and I'm excited about the conversations that we're having with these coaches. You really kind of get an in-depth look at what's going on. We've always said we wanted this podcast to be conversational, not. I mean, we're going to ask questions.
Sure, right.
And don't want it to come across as an interview. But this week, we're able to get a little bit deeper.
Oh, listen, it's special, folks. You're going to want to make sure that you stay with us the entirety of this edition of Behind the G. Let's get into a little bit of what happened last week, Adam. So our cross-country team, boys, won the silver championship.
Correct.
And the North Georgia championships. Yep. Isabel Lee, once again, top finisher for the girls. Yep. Volleyball, they played this past weekend, and you were there.
They were at the tournament at Raleigh. They've had a real good, strong start to the year. Ran into a bit of adversity. I do want to give a quick shout out. I feel like our volleyball team's played really, really well.
Yeah.
Harper Orr came down with an injury to her foot in that tournament on Saturday, and the team continued to rally. And Harper, I got to give her a lot of props. Like, she's come in. First-year starter for the volleyball team. She's really, really played well. Also, got to give a shout-out to Taylor Reed, who committed to the University of Louisiana Monroe.
Yeah, big time.
Big-time Division I commit for the Gainesville volleyball. So hugely proud of them, the success that they've had this year. Again, Coach LeCurve always doing a great job with them.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And you all heard from her first episode of Behind the G. She's an energy provider, and those young ladies are feeding off of it. And Taylor Reed, like Adam just mentioned, going to a Division I program, first Division I signee out of our volleyball program in the history of GHS. So it's big time.
Yeah, huge props to Taylor. So she's really committed herself and come along. She's done what she needed to do, playing good club ball and getting the training that she's needed. And she's really had a great year this year. So I was super excited for her and really what the future holds for her. Weekend
after Labor Day weekend, so not this coming weekend. We're not going to ruin your 3-day college football weekend, but the weekend after it, the first official weekend in September, Big Red Volleyball is hosting a Big Red tournament right here at Student Activity Center at Gainesville High School. Come watch these young ladies that we're talking about. Come watch Coach LeCurve coach them up. It's fun. Of course, Gainesville's campus is a beauty to be on and a beauty to behold. And so we want to welcome you. We want to invite you and then welcome you in that Saturday to watch our volleyball team play. I got to see our softball team play for the first time.
I'd love to hear your take on it.
Got to see the softball team. So the softball team started out 4-0.
Yep.
And that fourth win was against Chattahoochee. It was a region win. Beat them 11-3. And
probably our first region win in quite a while.
Yeah. And to not just beat a region team, but to beat them like that.
Yep.
Again, speaks volumes to what Brad Prestridge
There's a lot
is
of growth
doing
in that program.
But because of weather-related issues or other things, teams not being able to get buses, whatever, all these home games we were supposed to have.
They're avoiding us now.
That's right.
We had a few. We were run-ruling people. They said,
we don't want none of that.
Bus won't crank. Sorry, can't make it.
That's right. Once Big Red starts rolling, people don't want any part of it, right? But for whatever reason, all those home games we thought we were gonna get over a 2-week period, the team played once, and it was away. Yep. So they're sitting at 4-0. They have their first home game Tuesday night. And it didn't go the way we wanted. We got handled by a very, very good Johns Creek team. But in the first episode of Behind the G, we talked with Coach LeCurve. We talked with Coach Prestridge. We talked with Coach Niblett about silver linings, about quote-unquote moral victories. And I used to have a very black and white relationship with moral victories. They didn't exist. Yeah. And then I became a coach. And I realized that sometimes the only thing you can hang your hat on are little wins.
Finding the wins.
And sometimes growth is the win. Seeing someone realize their potential is the win, whether or not it shows up in the actual win column. We got beat handily, as I mentioned, the softball team did. But the silver linings were all over the place. The moral victories are all over the place. And one of the first things I said to you when I walked in Wednesday morning was, the way our team played, they got beat by a better team. Mm-hmm. They didn't beat themselves. Were there a couple of errors? Sure.
Yeah.
That's not what lost them the game. Johns Creek hit the ball off of us. That means we're pitching into the strike zone.
Yes.
We fielded the hits cleanly. They were just good hits. They were singles to the outfielder, doubles down the line. They were clean hits. But we fielded them cleanly. We hit cutoff people. All of these little things that softball players out there are going, but that's normal. Well, did you not hear our conversation with Coach Prestridge where a lot of his players aren't picking up gloves and bats?
Correct.
Until they get to the 9th grade.
Yeah.
So the fact that they're able to do these things and do them seamlessly, do them effortlessly, is a huge win.
It is, absolutely. And you and I have talked about this past week a couple of different times about the IQ of the game.
Yeah.
That's where those girls are starting to come along.
Yes.
And again, we may have been in situations where we've taken a girl that maybe picked up a bat or a glove for the first time in 8th or 9th grade, and they're, long gone are the days of like watching games on TV and being able to pick up the nuances of a game, learning how to tag up, or what we take advantage or take I can't think of the right word, but we forget about. It's easy, for if you've been doing it all your life, but when you're trying to pick it up at the last minute, those things don't always come along. So they're starting to pick up some of those stuff and play quality ball. Well,
and that's it. And I think actually the phrase I used, and I know it's going to seem very strange to the Red Elephants out there listening, but the phrase that I used was, a better team beat a team it was better than.
Yeah.
It wasn't a situation where we don't know what we could have actually done because we made so many mistakes.
Correct, yeah.
We just got beaten by a better team. And that is growth.
Absolutely.
It was good to watch.
It's in a situation where we didn't have more errors than they did runs.
Correct.
Or
walks or passed balls or anything of that nature. And I really want to the intestinal fortitude of this team to be down a good number of runs and by the first, when they first came up to bat in the first inning. And to still just fight and still just play and still just want it.
Gotta love it.
Judea Hawks had an incredible game. Turned a beautiful double play. I got to give her a shout out. She's a sophomore. That kid is a great softball player. And another silver lining quickly is the crowd. I hadn't heard a Gainesville softball crowd sound like that since, I swear to you, since we played, and we're playing for state championships in the late 90s.
Yeah.
I have not heard a Gainesville crowd like that. It did my heart so good. It gave me chills. Again, you'd rather our kids be able to win, but the fact that they were supported like they were supported, to me is a win.
Well, and fortunately enough, it's not just the parents of our girls showing up. We've got our student body showing up.
Oh, heck yes.
We've got the motto in our athletic department that we want to all in support each other. Mm-hmm. So you've got football players, basketball players showing up to these games and supporting other Red Elephants.
And the really cool thing to me about it is they show up and they sit with each other and they laugh and of course Adam's going to hate that I'm bringing this up, but this game played the night after the big news came out worldwide that Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift are engaged. And
you worked hard for that one.
I worked hard for that one. I took it upon myself to. I worked hard for this tie-in. I took it upon myself to play a few Taylor Swift songs.
I have no doubt you did.
Interestingly enough, our football guys had some moves to shake it off, and they were singing all the words.
And you didn't get it on video?
I did not, no. I just relished in the moment. I sat out there with a huge smile on my face. But back to the point, it was super cool to see them there for our softball team, with each other, interacting,
Hey, I'm going to say this right now, and this is going to get us in later. Celebrating wins for each other.
Oh, yeah. And again, small ones.
Yes.
It wasn't a win on the scoreboard. Okay, we can stomach that because, Miss Hawks is roping one down the first base line, and we got Jocelyn Smith, our point guard for basketball, just going nuts for in the stands. Like,
that's awesome.
Being a Red Elephant's a beautiful thing, ladies and gentlemen. It is a beautiful thing. Okay, so college football starts off this weekend.
Excited.
Me too. I can't wait. And you know what's crazy? I was talking with a few colleagues earlier this morning. That's pretty much the consensus. Everybody can't wait to wake up Saturday morning, turn on College Game Day.
Yep.
and just spend the day rotting watching football.
Well, and it's amazing because obviously I feel the exact same way. I do not overly enjoy professional sports.
Yeah.
College is where it's always been for me. So I look at it and say, well, what do all the other people do? I mean, like, if you're not doing this, what are you doing?
What are you
I don't
doing?
understand. It's like those people that schedule weddings on a fall Saturday.
Couldn't do it.
Like, what is wrong with you?
Yeah.
It's college football Saturday.
And listen, don't ask me to go apple
No.
picking. The only venture out I am making is to a local establishment, that probably allows for some adulting.
Check out their new appetizers.
Check out their new appetizers. Get a wing or two.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm watching football from here through January.
Well, yeah, and I was gonna make sure we all know there's 2 games on Saturday, 2 big games on Saturday.
And they are.
I knew you were going to ask me that. Clemson, Virginia Tech, taking Beamer ball back to Virginia Tech.
South Carolina, Virginia Tech.
Yeah, sorry. What did I say?
Clemson.
Oh, sorry about that.
Clemson plays LSU.
Yeah, sorry. And then the Texas game is on Saturday.
Texas and Ohio State.
Yeah,
Play at
so
noon.
2 great games on Sunday,
Yeah.
so we don't have to watch the NFL. I don't think they're playing on Sunday. But
Oh, wait, you said Sunday. I was
yes.
still thinking Saturday.
No, those are Sunday games.
See, golly. I really need to get up on my calendar.
Yeah, it's okay.
So Saturday, then Sunday, and I feel like there's a Monday game too. Isn't there always a Labor Day game?
I mean, why? We
Let's
can
do
move
it.
some. We can move something.
I think you and I should just come on out here to Bruce Miller Field. Well,
Oh, goodness.
I'm an all-time quarterback. I'm playing all-time quarterback. And listen, the other cool thing about watching college athletics is how many kids, and college football in particular, how many kids we have out there
Yeah.
that are representing Gainesville in new uniforms.
It is so exciting.
yeah.
I love that. And speaking of which, T-Lander will be back in town this weekend. Tennessee taking on Syracuse at the Benz. Great exchanging texts with him this last week as he's getting ready to start his junior year. Cannot believe it's his junior year.
That's insane.
Well, we do. We signed 12 kids last year that are
Right.
all off playing college ball this year. We've probably got 25, 30 in playing college. So it's awesome to sit down on Saturdays and watch what they're doing too.
Oh yeah, absolutely. You love being familiar with the names on the back of the jersey.
Absolutely.
Love being familiar with the names on the back of the jersey. And I do have to give a quick shout out to a very special college football player in my life, and that is my nephew Baxter Wright, former quarterback at Gainesville High School. Earned the backup role with the Murray State Racers. They take on East Tennessee State on Saturday, 4:30. Game 1 will be on ESPN Plus. You can rest assured Aunt Katie B is going to be tuned into that one as well. Super proud of him and how he's adjusted and done all the things I wish I'd done as a college athlete.
Yeah. Can't speak enough about him. I mean, he was recruited as an athlete, went and played safety his first year, has now made that transition over to quarterback. And Baxter's a baller.
Yeah.
I mean, he's just like you could probably
He's a winner.
You
Yeah.
could probably put him at offensive line, and he would do a great
He'd
job.
figure it
there.
out, man. Yeah.
Yeah. So super excited to see what happens with him over the next.
And
couple
listen,
years.
I don't wish injury on anyone, but if the boy got some PT on Saturday, I wouldn't be mad about it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Wouldn't be mad about it at all. All right, folks, we got a great show coming up. I promise you're not going to want to miss a second of it. Rich Corbett, cross country coach, track and field coach, coming up next. Katie B, Adam Lindsey, Behind the G. Make sure, if you haven't yet, that you're following us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Go Red Elephants is the handle. And bookmark our website, goredelephants.com, where you can find the latest news and photos from Red Elephant Athletics, plus roster and schedule information. Go Red Elephants on social media, goredelephants.com on the web. All the Big Red you can handle right at your fingertips. For the first time in the short life of the Behind the G podcast, we are joined by the legendary. You've been here long enough to be a legend. You know that, right?
Longest head coach on the staff, I believe.
Wait. Ellie Vivian's been here a little bit longer than you.
Okay.
But number 2, I'm going to give you number 2.
Yeah.
Legendary cross-country and track and field coach, Rich Corbett. Richard Corbett, John Corbett. It seems like every coach we introduce on this show, we have an alias for them.
Yeah.
Yes.
And other names.
And other names we call them too.
Yeah, I started going by John because it's part of my paycheck and my email to the school.
Yeah.
And my mom asked me one day, "Why are you going by John now?" It's always been Rich or Richard. I've started being called John. So
The paycheck wins every time.
The paycheck wins every time. And also, when I go to type in as you just said, to your email, and I type in Rich, and nothing populates. I'm like, what's his name today?
Yeah.
John.
You got to go by the last name.
That's right. Got to go by last name.
I answered to both out of the cross country course.
What else do you answer? I don't want to know about that. I don't want to know about that. Cross country program here at Gainesville High School is phenomenal. Track and field program. Individually had some really great moments in the last decade or so. But, especially on the girls' side, things are rolling, and Coach Corbett takes care of the distance element therein. We're not going to get there until spring. I want to talk about this cross-country program that's really, for the last decade, been rolling. And when you say a cross-country program is doing well, it means there's always one or two athletes within it. If you're really lucky, more than that. But one or two athletes within it that are always going to finish in top 5, therefore giving your teams a chance to finish top 5. And that's what Coach Corbett has created here at Gainesville. In 2025, we were through 2 meets. They had the LCA Invitational at Loganville Christian Academy, North Georgia Championships at Lamar Murphy in Jefferson. Assess the year overall.
Well, okay, so you mentioned that top 10 performer a second ago. We probably do not have that this year. Maybe Ethan Fountain and Isabel Lee will get up there in the top 20. Coaches call that a low stick or a low number. If they're in the top 10, that really helps your team score. But in the end, it's really your top 5 for the total score. I mean, you can have a top finisher, which we had years ago in Ashley Thompson, but we didn't have a team there that year.
Right.
So, we've got one of those teams where the top 5 are pretty close, and that can also win you some titles, which it has so far this year. Started off real good. It's been an interesting summer. We had a really good group of girls coming back. That I was looking forward to having Isabel Lee, our star freshman, join, and they decided to go in different directions and do some other stuff this year, leaving Isabel as kind of the team leader. So, we're really focused on her as an individual, seeing how we get her to the state meet. The team on the girls' side is coming around. It's a bunch of new girls that were never in the mix last year, were part of it, and now they're being asked to kind of step up and do a little bit more. And it's been a tough deal for some of them. A lot of them play soccer, including Isabel. On the guys' side, you got some new kids that are just running out of their minds right now. So, been kind of a surprise on the guys, quite honestly. We finished first at the North Georgia Invitational, like you said, but we were in the second division, which I chose. Right now, I've kind of come in easy on them to build some confidence. But 35 teams competed between the 2 varsity boys races, and we would have finished 7th overall. We won our division, but we would have finished 7th in the big division. So, I think we're on the right path.
So, Coach, for those that don't know a whole lot about cross country, will you explain how the point system works and how how the points are racked up to be able to win a championship?
Yeah, top 7 race a varsity meet. We had 12 racing the other day, so some meets are different. But when you get to sectionals and state, it's top 7. Top 5 score. Your number 6 becomes a tiebreaker. Of course, the 7th is there in case somebody goes down and winds up being a tiebreaker. But it's funny you ask that because I'm constantly having to explain that to parents and the kids themselves. On my team, I deal with a lot of first generation kids, new to the sport, and they really do not have a clue as to why it matters to be the 5th runner. They might see Ethan Fountain or Isabel Lee on the boys and girls sides way up front and think, okay, that's good enough. But the points don't stop till the 5th runner crosses the finish line. And, that's important. I was talking about it the other day. We were at the North Georgia Invitational, and that was my first head cross-country meet when I became head coach here. And it came down to the 6-person tiebreaker between us and North Hall, and we won it that day by 1 point. Our 6th runner was 1 point ahead of theirs. So it matters. It matters. It doesn't come into play that often, but that's how the scoring works. You can have a top person that's number 1, but if your 5th runner doesn't get across anytime soon, the team score blows up, especially at a big meet.
So basically how it works is if you have somebody finish in first, that person gets 1 point.
Correct.
Somebody finishes in third, they get 3 points. And if your 5th runner finishes 110th, you get 110 points. At the end of the day, you want the least number amount of points within your 5 finishers. So that number, 4, 5, 6 is hugely important.
Yeah, and a perfect score is 15. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 would be not 15. Yeah, 15 points total. So very rarely happens. Sometimes in small meets, but you get into a small meet like county, region. There isn't a region anymore with sectionals, but you get into smaller meets, the numbers are lower. You get into a meet like state, You get a kid up in the hundreds, it's going to blow your score out of the
That
through the roof.
shows how important those 4, 5, and 6 are.
Yeah, and how important your top JV runners are because injuries happen.
Yep.
I want to ask this. You mentioned there being some tribulations, trials and tribulations this summer with some girls you were counting on not deciding they didn't want to do it anymore. Which
and that's okay. They made a decision.
Right. They're well within their right to do. But these were young ladies whose names, if we mentioned here, you'd know. Because they've been doing really well for the last 3 years for Coach Corbett in the cross country program as well as the track and field program, and just decided to go a different direction for their senior year. How do you handle that? Like how do you handle that as a coach?
It wasn't easy. Adam, Coach Lindsey heard me a lot this summer. A little frustrated.
Yeah.
More frustrated for Isabel Lee. She was coming in. She ran a little bit with us as an 8th grader. High expectations to replace some of the graduates. And still had a good team, and was counting on those 2 really good seniors to become the leaders. And they were with us during June, and then we came out of the dead week, and they just kind of made a decision they wanted to enjoy their senior year. They weren't looking to run in college, and I left the door open for that month until the season started officially, and that's okay. I'll still speak to them in the hallways and support them.
Right.
But it was a tough transition because we were really limited over the summer. Then a lot of girls started stepping up, and a lot of the soccer girls decided they wanted to run who had set out last year. They committed to me last year to run as a 10th grader, and they have. It's still a struggle on the girls' side because the depth is limited, and those girls are running off to soccer constantly, club soccer. So I'm really having to be flexible. I've always been pretty flexible, but more so this year.
Yeah.
But it's an opportunity for others to step up.
Yeah.
And it's an opportunity for Isabel Lee to take leadership, even as a 9th grader. And I think she's doing a great job with it. Just a really young team. I think we have 9 seniors graduating, which might seem like a lot, but we've probably got about 50 kids on the team.
Wow.
And most are 9th and 10th graders. But what it also did was make me realize, okay, I better put my focus this year on the 8th graders.
Yeah.
And that's where my focus really is right now.
And we've spent a lot of time talking about how at Gainesville we are a 6 through 12 program, and it is so important for us to spend time on those middle school groups because we can bring up strong classes. And Isabella Lee is a great example of that.
Yeah, and I heard in the first podcast, I heard all the coaches talking the same thing: middle school. I think the toughest thing for me over the years has been, a lot of our middle school athletes are also in the band. A lot of our cross-country kids. And over in the middle school, band is a subject. It's a class. They come here, band's like a sport.
Yeah, absolutely.
They're going to practice as hard as any sport on campus. And they have to make a decision. Now, I'm flexible, but it's pretty tough to juggle band and cross-country.
Yeah.
So we continue to lose some of those kids to band, and that's fine. I don't try to sway them one way or the other. But it's made me realize we better build even more depth at the middle school level, not just a few runners, because as I mentioned, we had some soccer girls last year sit out their freshman year for just the fact that they didn't think they could compete on the high level.
Right.
So every year it's tough for me because I lose kids to band, I lose kids to drama, I lose kids to going to work or having to go home and watch their siblings. The demographic that I primarily deal with, the Hispanic demographic, they've got a lot of things going on.
Yeah.
So really this summer and this fall with Coach Foster, Schultz, and McIntosh at the middle school, the focus is on these 8th graders and trying to make them understand they'll be okay here as cross-country runners. And that starts, it's really started already. The first 2 meets, we were aligned with the middle school. And this Thursday, I'm taking the 8th graders away from, like they would be racing today, Tuesday, at Chestatee, but they're not. They're going to race Thursday with the high school. So I think that's the new thing we are doing. When I started, Coach Lindsey and I agreed that I could bring 8th graders to JV when the season ended. But this year we're going to look to run 8th graders as JV whenever possible to just get them more confident.
And one of the great things I think that Corbett does with this program is those middle schoolers have the opportunity to come and practice with us all summer. So they're getting integrated real early, and they'll come over here and practice with us in the afternoon. And I think that helps create a whole lot of continuity in that 6-12 program.
Yeah, and they're nervous. I mean, I had them running with me yesterday, and they were paranoid. And I'm like, guys, you're just going to run 5 or 6 miles.
Right.
I'm not pushing you.
You're just going to run 5 or 6 miles.
Well, Ethan Fountain and the top guys went 8 to 9, so there is a little bit of a difference. But I don't know what the fear factor is. I don't know if it's me screaming all the time or asking a lot of them, because I do demand a lot.
Scary.
Yeah. I mean, I demand a lot of them. I expect a lot of them.
I'm shaking in my boots just sitting here next to you.
I'm 5'9", 155. That's imposing.
Yeah, and a dog lover, so he's just a horrible person to be around.
But we've got an amazing group of 8th graders this year. I mean, it's
That's
a
so good to
testament
hear,
to Coach McIntosh, who's done an amazing job, and Coach Schultz. Coach Foster's joining them this year. And, I mean, they're just doing a great job of building the numbers. And, we meet and there's a whole team. Mm-hmm. It's not divided. When they come before we start practice, we kind of meet. They hear me talking about what the high school's going to do. And, I'm getting to know them. I think I heard one of the coaches, the first podcast, talk about needing to know all the names of the middle school. Yeah. And that's not easy for me. I mean, exactly. We've got a lot of them, and some of them are rolling in from west or east late, and we're already out there. But I'm trying to get to know every one of them, especially those 8th graders.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how you build a program, and how you've been able to sustain success over the last 20 plus years. And I got to say, some years are going to be hard, but the fact that you recognize what needs to be done and go do it. Yeah. You don't wait on anything to happen to you, wait on anything to happen for you, nor do you sit and wallow in the self-pity that can accompany.
You go as a coach, you're looking 6 months, or you're looking to the next season out. I mean, I'm already looking at cross country next year. I've already looked at track with Coach Dion. You're constantly looking at who you have coming back, and building from there. But we had 4 girls coming back off the state team that finished 6th last year, 5th and 6th the last 2 years at the state meet. Very good girls program. And then to not have any, it's like, okay, whoa. And then on the guy side, we had 3 coming back, but then we lose 2 of our best kids to a transfer to Northview through no fault of their own. Their father took a job over that way. And, so you go into the season thinking you've got 7 kids coming back between 14 that ran at state. And then all of a sudden you wake up and you've got 1, and it's like, okay, we're going to take our lumps this year. But, as I tell the team, it's not until November 1st that matters. Sectionals November 1st. All these other meets, we're just building. Warm up. We are building confidence. And, I see it with the guys right now, the guys especially. The girls, I see I'll give you an example. We had a girl the other day break 30 for the first time. You got to be under 20 to truly be great on the girls' side, 22, 23 to be a varsity runner probably on most teams. But she woke up the next morning, was texting me about what spikes to go get. She was excited. Well, girl's a 10th grader. Maybe she develops in the next 2 years. So I don't give up on any of them. Yeah,
that gets to me a little bit. Yeah. That gets to me.
Yeah. And here's what it boils down to. We know you because we deal with you on a daily basis. You've had some adversity to deal with. Mm-hmm. You'll come up with a plan. Yeah. You'll take this group and you'll turn them into something great. So we have all full confidence in you in that one.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, I talked to them yesterday. They were all giddy on the bus singing "We Are the Champions" coming home on Saturday.
I love it.
We won a race that we probably should have won, even with our team. We weren't in the championship part of that race. Normally, we were in that championship part. But I'm building confidence. And I looked over at Coach Koldoff, and he's an amazing assistant coach. So upbeat and positive, teacher of the year. And he just said, let them sing, Coach. Yeah. Let them have their moment.
That's right.
And I did. I mean, But yesterday, I addressed that group and said, hey, you were supposed to win that race. You would have finished 7th in the other race, which was still admirable. But put it in the rearview mirror and let's focus on, running again.
Adam, we joked about the legend of Rich Corbett. But, man, what an incredible job he has done, does, and
will do.
Listen, the words coming out of my mouth to the dear Lord will continue to do for us.
Rich is a special guy. Rich, when I got here, Rich was he was at the middle school. He was helping out with the middle school program, and Adam Miller was our head coach. And Adam had made the decision to step aside from coaching cross country. Rich, ran at Florida State. This is a second career for him. And he's a kid, he's not a kid. But he is a gentleman that is all in all the time. Yeah. I can't tell you how many times a day he comes in my office and just wants to talk about cross country or the a situation or whatever. He thinks about these kids 24/7. He is all in, and to me that's what makes him so special. He has a relationship with every single one of those kids. The kids, when they're out on the weekend out running, they want to stop by his house and check in with him. So can't say enough about Rich and the job that he does. He really pours into these kids, and just super glad he's a red elephant. And I think he is very much the epitome of what we look for in head coaches.
Yeah.
We can talk about the X's and O's and the finite pieces of fundamentals of all the sports, but at the end of the day, we have to have people that care about kids and want to pour into kids, and Rich does that every single day. It means a ton to him, and it's not about the wins and losses for him, although he's a huge competitor. He cares about the kids. He wants to see the kids be successful, and he works with a specific group of kids that really feed into what he's doing, and he loves working with those kids, and it shows every day.
It absolutely does. And I think about how he got here. You mentioned it being his second career. Hear me when I say Coach Corbett's here because he wants to be, not because he has to be. He moved to Gainesville with his wife. Began following Gainesville High School athletics a little before 2000. He was a fan first, and he decided he wanted to come be a part of what Gainesville will be, and be a red elephant. And if that doesn't speak volumes to what was built here, what remains here, I don't know what does, because he spends every day being the best version of a red elephant.
Yeah, he had the day off today, and he was here.
Yeah,
he had to come in and check on some things and make sure everybody was ready for practice, whatever, and that's just the kind of. And look, in the cross country world, he's a good one.
He's the man.
He's a good one, and he has opportunities. People come after him all the time, but he's loyal to being here, and he's loyal to our kids, and we appreciate that.
100%. Coming up next on Behind the G, our weekly turned weeply vibe check with the one, the only, Josh Niblett. The continued success of Red Elephant Athletics is due in large part to the support given by our Gainesville community through their membership to the Gainesville Athletic Club. The GAC serves all of our GHS programs with funds providing the necessary equipment and gear, among other things, that ensure our student athletes continue receiving a Division I experience in high school. Learn more and become a GAC member today by visiting GoRedElephants.com. Last week, Gainesville football welcomed in a foe from Alabama and then sent them back to their sweet home where the Big Red L. 49-7. Gainesville football beats Moody. Second year in a row, they've done that home-and-home series. We talked about it last week on the podcast in our vibe check with Josh Niblett. We're back getting another vibe check with him this week. Coach, what an incredible performance.
Yeah. Top
to bottom, defense, offense, we-fence from your team last week.
It was a total team effort. And, and as a coach, you always got to look back, and there's a couple of things that, you got to get fixed here and there. But I think the key to the whole week is it was a short week, number one, so everything got bumped, to where our kids normally this year are having Sundays off. We talked about that last week. Well, we had to come in, we had to practice. We as a staff stayed here till after midnight putting the game plan together, so everybody's a little more tired on Monday. But now Monday's practice looks like another day that's different than a normal Monday, and then you're leading into the game. So you're a little bit apprehensive as a head coach with your kids. Are they going to, have the energy and play with the effort? But I thought our kids had an unbelievable sense of urgency all week, because I think they felt like, hey, if we don't play good this week, this team can beat us. And I think that was the respect that our kids had for their program. And then also the respect our kids have for our program. And I don't know if we could have played much better early. And I thought defensively we got after them. We were physical. We tackled really well in space. We had some takeaways. Probably should have had another one. Offensively, we talk about coming out playing fast. We were able to do that early into a, tune of 35 points in the first half. So proud of our kids, proud of their sense of urgency, proud of our staff. So we just got to continue to carry that on.
And I think that, I want to make sure people know Moody's a good football team.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it may not have looked like it on Friday night, but I think that's a lot to do with us.
Everything to do, yeah.
I think, as you mentioned, offense came out and played great. Defense came out and played great. Defense came out and played great. They couldn't do much with us, but that's still a really good football team. That's a team that's going to end up in the state championship game again, and that's not trying to downgrade Alabama football or Moody program. I think they deserve some respect too. In the end, I think they will be. And this is again their first game, no scrimmage.
Yeah.
So there's a lot that goes into it for them. We we handled our business and sent them home that way.
Well, and for the second straight week, we had a lightning delay. So our kids handled it well. So I told them, hey, we're conditioned to this. We're ready.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how we're going to play when we don't have one.
Well, last year when we went to Westlake, we'd had a little bit
good
of
night.
Wow. We
that
should
trip.
be fine this week.
Yes.
No worries.
I'm wondering if that's coming along with you wearing, instead of shorts, he didn't go pantsless. Instead of shorts. If that's also a byproduct of the pants.
Well, we'll find out this week. Who knows?
All right. It is
But
what
the
it
pants
is.
will be there. So
The
pants will be there.
Thank goodness. We're all thankful for that, if nothing else. Something I've noticed, observation, I like to watch great coaches coach. I like to see how they interact with their players, with their coaches, with the officials. I like to watch great coaches coach. In the 3 years and now 3 games that you've been here, I mentioned this to you last Friday after the Moody game, actually. I've seen you pump your fist twice. And that's not to say you're not excitable. You just stay on an even keel throughout a game. Maybe not when you feel like we're not getting the calls we need to get, but you stay on an even keel when it comes to your interaction with players, interaction with coaches. Seen you pump your fist twice. The first time was right after the half, state championship game. Quarterback backs to right, runs in for a 2-point conversion to pull us within a point or 2 points or whatever it is of a team that was supposed to beat us by 35. You pump your fist. Great way to come out for the half. Second time I've seen you pump your fist was we had just turned the ball over on Moody's sideline. They pick up a fumble. We stop them on 3rd and goal, and then they miss the field goal. The way you came off the sideline with this air of excitement and focus, honestly, it both pumped me up and scared me a little bit for Moody. As part of that, there seems to be a chemistry with this team.
Yep.
That maybe was missing a little last year, the year before. There seems to be a chemistry with your coaching staff with this team.
Yep.
Talk a little bit about, am I observing? Are we observing that? Because this is a conversation we've had sitting in this office. Are we observing that correctly?
Well, you're going to get me emotional. Because, I genuinely love every team that I ever coach. But this group has a connection. And I told them, Monday in the meeting, I said, I just think you genuinely love playing with each other. And I showed that. I've watched that clip, that missing the field goal 25 times. I'm not watching it because we blocked the kick. I'm watching it because our kids ran off the sideline. You watch Philip Williams, who's put so much into this program, run on that field. You watch all the other guys to run on the field, and you watch our guys coming off the field and our coaches. That's what you want as a head coach. That's your culture. And I called Honeycutt in on Friday after the game. I said, watch this. I said, this is our culture right here. Yeah. This is who we are. And I can't say enough. Look, we got to keep doing it every week.
Right,
but that was a moment. That was a moment for me with our players. That was a moment with our players and our players, our coaches with our players, and our coaches with our coaches. And, you can tell a lot about a team of, how they celebrate for each other.
Sure.
But you watch Kareem coming from the side, and he's high-stepping over there so he can get over there. Hell, I got to get everybody off the field just so we can call the offensive play, But, and I don't mean to get emotional, but that stuff like that gets me emotional because I think that's the part. That's why you coach, and that's what you're trying to get your team to. And that was a pretty emotional time during the game, but it was very emotional Friday morning when I got up and watched it.
Oh yeah, and not to proverbially beat a dead horse here, but you said in the off season that y'all's conversations were about connection.
Yep.
And how to make the kids more connected, make the coach more connected with the players and vice versa, and to see it come to life, come to fruition is remarkable. And I want to add why it stuck out so much to me, and it's one of the first things I mentioned to Adam when I saw him after the game. Why it stuck out so much to me is we were up 21-0.
Yeah.
If they had scored right there, it'd still be 20.
Yeah.
It wasn't.
Yeah.
It was a huge moment not because it swung momentum, not because it was game winning. It was a huge moment because it was guys making a play for each other, and then it was recognized as guys making a play for each other.
And we turned the ball over and so the defense is going out on the field where if you don't have culture, it's D's got bad body language running out, or, hey, hold on the football, we're tired of doing this, that, but not our guys. I mean, it's like, hey, man, we got you. We're about to get you the ball back, And then our guys just took it to another level, right? And, when you steal the momentum, and they probably could have tried to get a little momentum back there, and then we grabbed it back and bowed our back, but then to watch our kids celebrate because they knew how much that meant, during the game, not just from a point perspective, but just from the, hey, we run this place, right? Like this is our place. I mean, this is our game, and so no matter what you want to do, because that kicker, I mean, he was hitting 52-yarders before the game.
Yeah, he was killing it.
But it's a difference now when our guys are coming, because we work on it day in and day out, full speed, every day, of making sure we're working. We call it block party. And, I mean, it's our block party versus our one PAT field goal. And, I mean, they've blocked a few in practice. So I knew there was going to be a chance, and when it happened, it was a big play in the game.
Well, it was certainly set up for that. And the whole thing, with the celebrations, y'all have intentionally worked on that to celebrate each other, to celebrate everybody's successes. We've had a ton of conversations about that. Was one of the points of emphasis for this team this year, with having a defense that's going to be so good, having an offense that's going to be so good. Our defense is coming together at the right time. Just intentionally celebrating the successes that your other teammates are having, whether you're the starter or whether you're the backup or whatever it is. The intentional celebrating each other, it becomes infectious.
Well, and this summer, before we got into the season to where it was going to be time to celebrate, Medetta, I mean, like, that's a word like not a lot of people know, but it's genuinely having joy for others' success. And we talk about teams and players that have it, right? So we pick words that have it in it. Last week it was light. Like, be the light, be the salt, be the light. All right. And our kids went out and they were the light. At that particular time in this community, for that particular time, for such a time as this, in that moment, in that city park on Bobby Gruen Field, they were the light, right, in that community. I mean, it was shining extremely bright. But then when you think about Medetta, there's an it in that too. Teams that have it are teams that celebrate each other. Yeah. And you watch, like, even when, we hit Cam, that was the one, I was excited about that one because, we've been working on that one. And when we got a chance to run the trick play in the OL, this is what's great about it. Like, they're always blocking all that, and they're blocking on that one, but they knew what devil was, and that's what we called the play. And they knew when that ball went up in the air, it was going to have a shot to score. And so you could see those guys do this, and they're running off, and they're celebrating with each other, and just to watch our guys do that, I think is big. And look, that's not easy to do, because a lot of times when you make a play, man, you want to, and I'm not saying a guy can't bump his chest, right? But find your teammates.
Do it
when
together.
You get a pick, somebody did their job for you to get a pick. When you get a score, somebody did their job for that, right? You get a kick return, there's a lot of guys that do their job for that. So don't forget that. And I just want to appreciate it and never take that for granted.
I love that. We're going to move on, I promise, to Westlake here in a second. But if Behind the G fulfills its true purpose, it's conversations like this that are going to make it happen. And you use the word infectious. And I want to challenge everybody out there listening who's going to be at Bobby Gruen Field, at City Park on Friday night, or any home game from here on out. Let that infection get ill, get as sick as you've ever gotten, because you're absolutely right. Like that feeling that these young men are providing is infectious, and should be reflected by the people watching them.
Well, and maybe I'm out of line for saying this, but I get a little emotional too when I was a little disappointed in our crowd the other night.
Yeah.
I'm just being honest. High truth, high love. That's what our program's about. And for these kids to work their tails off and to put that product on the field. Look, we're not perfect by no means.
No.
Some nights we don't play great, Some nights we play really, really good. But if you want to be blessed to watch some kids enjoy playing with each other, and you want it to make your week and your weekend, then come to the game. And if you love the Red Elephants, it don't matter if it's raining. It doesn't matter if the game's at 7:00, 7:30, or it gets postponed till 9. I mean, if we love Georgia Bulldogs, we're going to go to Athens.
Yeah.
You know, well, if you love Gainesville, let's be there. There's no reason why we shouldn't pack it out.
Yep.
Because the expectation we have in our program is the same expectation we should have as supporters.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm going to be there. I'm going to give you everything I got, and I'm going to make sure we make it tough on that other team, especially when we play at home.
Well, and let's be honest, these kids are celebrating in large part because of the G they wear. They're celebrating.
There's no doubt.
They're celebrating the guy next to them wearing that G. Like, that's what it's about.
And we're different here.
Yeah.
Like, we're different here than anybody else. Like, we're not everybody else to where when you go to their home games, they don't have everybody there. Like, we pack it out. We should pack it out. I mean, that's what our program is about. That's what the G's about in any sport. Mm-hmm. You know? I mean, there's enough in the community that want to be a part of what we're doing. And I think it's important that our kids get that support. Yeah, I'm sure you could come up with different things. Don't give yourself an option on Friday night.
Yeah, the proud need
There's
to be
one place to
prideful.
be,
Yep.
you know,
Yep.
and we got to all meet there and let's have a party together.
And that's why we're a community.
Yep.
That's
right.
That's the difference between us.
That's
and
exactly
a lot of
right.
the schools we play. We're a community.
I agree.
We show up and support each other.
I agree.
Speaking of showing up, supporting, or as we like to say, showing up and showing out, Westlake
Yep.
senior night. It's an important night
It is.
for a lot of people. Band, cross country, cheerleading, JROTC, and of course our football team going to be celebrated on Friday night. And then hopefully when the buzzer sounds at the end of the Westlake Gainesville game, we'll be celebrating a 3-0 start. But what's Westlake bringing?
Just got a lot of really good players. I mean, they do. I mean, they played Langston Hughes. First game of the year, I think it was like 47-27. Langston Hughes just made a couple of more plays than they made. And then they played Douglas last week out of Atlanta. And then, you know, beat them 35-0. So, I mean, they're explosive offensively. They try to do a really good job of getting mismatches. They're big up front to try to get you covered up. They got a back that's got, you know, is shifty. And then the quarterback does a really good job of distributing the ball out. Defensively, I mean, just like last year, they just got really good players in the box. And then secondary-wise, they try to put themselves in good situations because they think their guys are better than your guys. And when you're able to do that, you can put 9, 8, 7 in the box and play man on the back end. So, you know, I feel like we got a good plan. Special teams-wise, you know, we've got to do a really good job of trying to gain a possession, win the hidden yardage. But, yeah, I'm excited about our seniors. I mean, you know, we want to win the football game, but, you know, I told our guys the other day this is a tribute to our seniors. And, you know, when you have senior night, you want to go out with a win. And I'm proud of these seniors. This is the largest senior class here that I've had. I mean, we're at 30, and which is a really good senior class.
And 30 is a great number. 30 is a great number of seniors to help you know the kind of success you're able to have that year. But as we go into senior night, again, as we've talked about before, this is your first freshman class now, seniors.
Yep.
You know, certainly want to invite everybody out as we recognize the seniors starting at 6 o'clock. But let's talk a little bit about, you know, what you do for senior night. You know, a lot of the people might not know you actually have a football for every kid, every senior that you write a little note on, and it's a personal note. Sorry,
get me emotional again. Yeah, seniors mean a lot to me. Every senior class, and there's a lot of guys in this class that I met at the middle school when I first walked on campus. And, you know, I was just talking to a guy on the phone a while ago, and he was just like, you know, you got to be connected to write notes on a ball. I was like, yeah, you do. Like, you got to connect to them. You don't just write stuff to be writing. And sometimes you got a guy that's a really good player. Well, I mean, I don't like to write about how good of a player he was. I like to write about how good of a person he is and how I've watched him grow and develop as a man, because that's what it's about. And then the guy that doesn't get to play a whole lot, like, I thank him. I thank him for showing up every day. I thank you for being a part of what we're doing and making a difference. Like, you've left a legacy behind, you know? And so for me, every single ball, and I've got 30 of them, so I'm down to the last 6 right now. I write a personal note to them. And, you know, there's 3 things I want to make sure they know. Number 1 is how much I appreciate them and how much I love them. And number 2 is there'll always be a link in the chain, always. And then the last part is keep chasing best in everything that you're doing. Whatever you decide to do, just keep chasing best. And this class, all classes mean a lot to me. I mean, but, you know, Damari Bailey walked in my office yesterday, and it was funny. You know, I'm sitting there writing on a ball, and he looks over there, and all my balls are on the ground that I've been writing on, and he's like, Coach, let's go on sponsors. And I was like, no, those are going to the seniors. He goes, you write a note to every senior? And I was like, yeah. He goes, Coach, that's love, man. Well, we want it to be about love in our program and a connection. And I told him, I was like, hey, next year you're going to get one of those. He goes, I can't wait. I said, yeah, you can. Don't wish it away, man. Just keep enjoying what you're doing. Because I snap our fingers with our seniors. And look, I still have guys that call me from 10 years ago. And they send me, and T. Leonard just sent me a note 2 weeks ago. He said, Coach, snapping that finger, I can hear you snapping the finger. He goes, I'm fixing to be a junior in college. He goes, it goes by quick. He says, tell those guys to enjoy it. So I try to remind them of that.
This has been unbelievable. Like, I thought we were just going to do our little weekly
I'm
vibe check
exhausted. I'm exhausted right now. Yeah. I need some water. I might be dehydrated.
Tell the players meetings are over. Coach the podcast got a little big this week.
Good.
We went from our weekly vibe check to our weekly.
He's bringing the words this week, man.
I love it.
Absolutely love it.
I love it.
And listen, while we're talking about love, we love you, and we love what you've done with Gainesville football, what you're doing with Gainesville football, and what will continue to be with Gainesville football with you as the leader. And I know this red elephant, long time red elephant, can't freaking wait for Friday night.
Yes, ma'am.
And I'm hoping for another fist pump. You want another trick? Give me another fist pump. Always a pleasure, my man. Vibe check with Josh Niblett. Send us out.
Love you. Appreciate you. Hey, everybody out there, challenge you to be at the game. Let's pack it out. Let's show up and show out. And God bless you guys, and go Big Red.
Well, my goodness, I don't know that it gets much better than what we just heard from Josh Niblett. How neither one of us began weeping, I have no idea.
I'm glad you didn't, because I didn't. I definitely didn't. Coach cares.
Yeah.
I mean, and it shows. I mean, like, a very simple, easy question like that, it tears to the core. It means so much to him. Coach had a speaking engagement this week, and they asked me to introduce him, and I did an awful job. I'm just being honest.
I don't think that's true.
Well, I mean, people think about Coach Niblett, and immediately what you think about is the wins, the state championships, and I made the mistake of just talking about that.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, Coach Niblett, obviously, he's here to win football games. But at the end of the day, what makes him great is his connection to his players, his connections to people, and that is first and foremost for him.
Yeah.
And, that conversation shows every single bit of that. And that's, whenever you get into what he is, what he's about, what he brings to us, that's what he brings.
Yeah. I have fought the urge to get physically violent with people. And I'm not a physically violent person, so I would never do that. But I have still had to fight the urge with people who who think first and express the idea that he's just a hairdo. The idea that he's all about himself because of the way he presents himself.
Yeah.
From the moment I met him, I've told this story. I'll continue to tell this story. I'm a great judge of character. I will pat myself on the back for that. You cannot blow smoke anywhere near me and me not be able to smell it. The first time I met Josh Niblett, I went home and cried. And when I was asked why I was crying, I said, this man's going to change my community. Forget about winning football games. That's what he does every day.
Yeah, you're 100% right. I mean, it's as I said, it's the connections he's able to make with the people, with the community.
Did I not just applaud us for not crying? And here I am.
Yeah, there you go. But you're 100% right. I hear it all the time. Like, oh, he changed his clothes 3 times. He's got his hairdo, whatever. But say what you want. Yeah. We see it on a day in and day basis. That is what we see on a day basis.
That's what we see.
Yeah.
That's what we see. Not, and we feel so fortunate to have been able to bring it to our listening audience today. It was not planned. That was not fake. Neither was the emotion that you just heard come from us. And I'll say this, Coach Niblett was talking about the light and being the light. The very first pregame speech he ever gave, the Gainesville Red Elephant football team, was the preseason scrimmage in 2022. So the year they went on and played for a state title, which was nobody could have predicted that.
Nobody.
But the very first pregame speech he gave, he walked in and he said, I know God has me where I'm supposed to be. And the emotion you heard from him today was on full display at the end of that sentence.
Yep.
And he said, we talk about being the light. In his first pregame speech to his Gainesville Red Elephants, he was talking about being the light for this community, for this school system, for each other. Mm-hmm. And he has been instilling that in his guys and bringing it to this community since that day.
Absolutely.
And, you know, the fact that he still feels that passionately,
Yep.
you know.
Well, and I always tell this story, and this is kind of one that, you know, not everybody knows. You know, when we were having the conversation about bringing Coach here, he didn't say yes right away.
Yeah.
He didn't. You know, we had to go back to the table and have a few more conversations. And you know, the last kind of conversation we had before he finally said yes, I just straight up told him. I said, you know, you've got a great job at Hoover. You could stay there for as long as you want and win a lot of games. But at the end of the day, our community needs you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Our community needs you. Like, Hoover doesn't need you like we need you.
Right. Yeah.
You know, like, you want to make a difference in people's lives. You can make a difference in people's lives here.
Yep. And he's been doing it. And look, made a difference in mine. More
Absolutely.
importantly, made a difference in my nephews. A huge difference in my nephews. And it's one I will never, ever, 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 ever be able to repay him for.
Yep.
Although I will spend most days trying. Because when I say I love the man, I mean it. When you say you love the man, you mean it.
Absolutely.
And I will never tire of talking about him. So if you tire of hearing it, you just got to mute me, because I'm gonna keep right on talking about Coach Josh Niblett, because he is that special.
Yep.
He is absolutely that special, folks. It's been a pleasure to bring you this week's episode of Behind the G. Myself, Adam Lindsey. We love telling stories. We love telling you about our student athletes. We love talking to you about our coaches, and we hope that you'll come back next week to hear more of it. In the meantime, in between time, Big Red, be great. Have an incredible long weekend. I hope you watch your fill of college football, but I also hope you prepare yourselves to show up and show out next week for the Red Elephants. We'll be here on Thursday bringing you more from Behind the G.